Right. So I think I know what I've done. I put that post up yesterday. I put links in the description, blah, 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 yeah, blah. But in my dream, remember I had the dream about the walrus. And the walrus said, like, congratulations, you composed this, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, like, I think the church in the dream might have been like a shooting star or a meteorite or comet or something like that. I think what I've done is I've accidentally proved that the consciousness, the collective conscious universe theory, that all atoms are conscious and the universe is made up of atomic consciousness. It's literally God consciousness. I've just proven it because remember I said I might have to conjure the spirit and the ethers of Bach and Mozart and Brahms and all that to help me write the symphony. Then I had the dream and I woke up and wrote the symphony. I had the dream where my character in the movie was getting married inside a comet or a meteorite or a fallen shooting star, and I ended up writing a symphony. Now I'm not a musician. I'm not classically trained in anything. Music isn't my field. My field is physics, time theory, the quantum magnetics, the quantum field theory, time travel or time theory, and evolutionary theorism, and I'm a writer. And I think I tapped into the consciousness of classical composers, and they've helped me compose this requiem. And now I know why it's a requiem, because it's the consciousness of people who are no longer living who have helped me write all of this. And it's in memory of my Amber, with the help of my parents and all that. So now I understand why I keep calling it a requiem. It's like a song for the dead, to honour the dead. And as an Indigenous person, everything we do, all our celebrations, always remember the dead. But I've literally just proved the God consciousness theory. I've been saying for the longest time that the universe is made up of atomic consciousness, and that I'm able to tap into the atoms of that store memory, because atoms store memory of everything it created, and then it helps weave the fabric of our timeline in order to help us evolve as an evolutionary species in the universe. And I've literally just proven it. The atomic consciousness is real, and it's made up of all things in the universe. And all these scientists are, well, we think maybe you're on a basic level. Nah, mate, nah, there's nothing basic about the atomic consciousness of the universe. There's no basic connection between the mind and the universe through, the conscious. Nothing, it's not basic at all. It comes very easy to me. And I thought I was joking, but when you look at what the symbolism of walrus means, I've put a link in the description box below. Now it makes perfect sense. And without realising it, I tapped into the consciousness of, see, because after you've been dead, once you've been dead 100 years, your atoms become part of everybody else that was born after you've been dead 100 years. And all these composers have been dead for, a couple of 100 years. And so I must have woken up a part of me that is that has collected the atomic consciousness of former composers, and it's come through me when I tapped into the ethers in my sleep and helped me compose this requiem, proving quantum magnetics is 100% real, manipulating time to manifest reality by tapping into the atomic consciousness and the fabric of time that makes up the universe. And the scientists are saying, oh, well, we think that the human mind has some basic connection to the universe, and, that they can, no, it's not basic. There's a reason why our neuropathic pathways in our brain look exactly like the wormholes of the universe, and it's proven everything I've been saying. And to prove my theory correct, by me saying, oh, I might need to channel Brahms and Bach and all of that, and then having that dream, and then with the walrus and everything, and then waking up and composing that requiem, proves everything I just said. It proves my science right. I was absolutely spot on. So not only have I defied all logic by writing a requiem when I have no musical training, because I jokingly said, oh, I'm going to ask Brahms and Bach and all that for help. Not only have I done that, but I've also proven that the universe is conscious, and that when you're able to tap into the atomic consciousness of the universe, you have access to all time and all people woven into that fabric of time. Proving we never really die. Everything I've been saying, death is biological, death is only biological. It just dawned on me, what the hell have I just done? And I knew it was coming because of that dream I had in January last. Like I clearly saw it all when I was asleep and tapped into the consciousness of all time. But I didn't see it coming until all the pieces fell into place. Unfortunately, Amber had to die for it all to make sense, which is why it's a requiem. And now my mind's just gone, poof. I've blown my own mind, and it's my science. That's my physics. I had no idea it was going to be done through music, though. Laughter, love, music, and faith are the 4 highest vibrations in the universe. And this, what I've composed, is made up of all 4. Every day I advance more and more in physics in a way that blows even my mind, and I see it coming long before I tell me it's coming. I see it coming long before I do. And the walrus. My supernatural life, eh? When I write my biography, because I'm going to have to write a biography, I'm going to call it My Supernatural Life. If I ever make like a movie about the story of my life, I'm going to call it My Supernatural Life, the Debbie Callahan story. Which means my physics has superseded the physics of actual physicists who work for CERN and NASA and people who have degrees and stuff, and I'm just a barefoot Indigenous woman. So you don't need degrees, and you don't need expensive $1 trillion machines or anything to do what I do. You just need faith. You need to know how to love. You need to know how to laugh. And you need music. So I do my physics through music, which is the quantum menace. She reads the code. Formerly she. Ben, how he time jumps is he reads the codes that artists and musicians put into their artwork and their music. And he picks up on the frequency and gets sucked into the music or the art and time jumps. And that's how he figures out who the Glass-Arden Brigade are and who the Glass-Arden Brigade and the Glass Eye Brigade work for. Heracles. My brain can't even comprehend what the hell's just happened, but I know exactly what's just happened. And it's mind-blowing. I have just blown open the world of physics on a level that is going to change the way people see science, see physics, see death, see consciousness, see creativity, see inside the mind of a high funk. Thank you, Bach and Brahms. That's because I'm always been a Tchaikovsky girl. I love Tchaikovsky. A bit of Griege, but I'm a Tchaikovsky girl. But I got recently introduced to just give Bach a go. I was just drawn. Give Brahms a go. Just have a listen. And Brahms was just like this warm, just came over me and just lulled me into this. Okay, now you're ready for Bach. And I put the Bach on, and it was like the smack of reality of like, oh my God, I'm going to have to write like a symphony, or I'm going to have to write some sort of requiem or something for this movie, because it was like, okay, Brahms is preparing you for Bach. And boy, when Bach came, did he come with a... But it was for the purpose of not only writing this piece for the movie in order to honour the memory of my baby girl, Amber, and like my parents, and because they introduced me to music. Music was my life and my family. Not classical, not on that level, but geez, it unlocked something in me clearly. But it's also given a two fingers up to everybody said that my physics was a mental illness, that I was crazy. Because I didn't make sense to these scientists, because even the scientists didn't understand what the hell I was creating. But it's because they don't have faith, they don't believe in God. And in order to understand the atomic consciousness of the universe, you have to believe in God. You have to believe in the concept of God, but you have to change who you think God is. Because they keep thinking that God is the biblical God, and he's not. God is the atom. That's why my Egyptian ancestors called him Atom. And it's what I've been saying for how many years? It's what I've been saying for how many years? So this is a two fingers up. You blamed me because you were idiots. I was almost murdered because people were too dumb to understand that I had walked into a field of physics that hadn't been developed yet. And as a result, to prove what I was saying right, Brahms and Bach came along and helped me compose a requiem in order to prove it. And then if you look what walrus means, link in the description box, it's just going to blow your mind. And the walrus has told me exactly where I'm going. My future is clear, and I'm going to Switzerland, and I'm going to put together some musicians, and we're going to write Night of the Black Sun, and I'm going to make the Amber Rose, the story of Amber Rose, or the Amber Rose, and we're going to do this requiem. And I really think that, remember I said in my dream, I feel like it's bigger than what I'm realising. It took a minute for the penny to drop. Which means not only was God helping me write it, like the atomic consciousness, the atomic conscious universe, the mind of God, but I had composers, who came down from the ethers like angels to help me compose. Because genetic memory, if they've been dead for longer than 100 years and their atoms make up everybody else who was born after that 100 years, I've tapped into genetic memory that remembers the parts of my atomic makeup that used to be Brahms and Bach. And, and now that I've almost pretty much finished it, I can hear it in my head, and it's like more instruments have been added, and I can't wait. So when people listen to it, I think it's going to be like medicine, biorhythmically engineered medicine for the mind, for the soul, for the spirit, for the heart. Getting the choir together is just going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh my Lord. Hearing it in a concert hall, hearing it in a church would just be phenomenal. I'm going to have like sopranos, and I'm so excited. My brain can't comprehend what I've just done, what I've just pulled off. It's like I've just developed an atom in the palm of my hand and just thrown it down to earth, and it's just like gone poof. I know exactly what I've done. Which means I've outshone actual physicists, and I'm uneducated. I can't even do maths. I do my physics through language and vibration and frequency. That's my maths. It's higher vibrational. Quantum magnetics doesn't work with numbers. It's impossible. And I've been saying that for years. For some reason, quantum magnetics, like you can't put numbers to it. You can't use a mathematical equation because it puts everything off balance. It puts everything off kilter because it's forcing everything down into the ground. When you put numbers to quantum magnetics, it weighs everything down with gravity and forces everything down. Quantum magnetics requires free movement, and the only way you can use quantum magnetics with free movement is through language and music, because it's etheric. Maths isn't etheric. And the ethers is where the dead live. It's where your ancestors live. The memory and the spirits of your ancestors live in the ethers. One step behind the creation frequency or the God frequency, the God particle, whatever you want to call it. And then after that is birth. And then after that is reincarnation. The ninth element is reincarnation. So I've literally reincarnated through Amber Rose, the ninth element, reincarnated Bach and Brahms. That's how powerful I am. I knew I was ascending. Remember, I said I felt it. I could feel myself being pulled, like lifted up and out. I could literally feel it in my physical body. So now I'm on the outside looking in. Properly. Wow. I love my life. Anyway. Hi, I'm going to go now. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I knew when I woke up this morning, I knew something had changed. I could feel it with every fibre of my being. I felt like I've died and been reborn again, and I know I've said that before, but I felt it this time. I've been lifted up and out of my old life, and I'm sitting from a higher perspective in my very own physics that everybody laughed at me about, that everybody said I was nuts and didn't know what I was talking about, that even physicists were like, oh, well, we think if it's true, well, it's a basic thing. No, not basic. It's everything I've been saying for years, and I've just proven it, holding it in the palm of my hand. Wow. So not only have I proven my physics correct, but my ascension science, as an ascension scientist, I've figured out pitch perfectly the ascension process of the high-functioning creative mind and what happens when you allow yourself to ascend and tap into the conscious universe. Not only what you create is powerful, but who you become is powerful as well. So I need to get my ass to Switzerland, and I need to get these musicians together, and I need to find myself a composer who's classically trained, because he's the one that's going to be able to fine tune what it is I can hear in my head. He's just going to have to be very patient with me, because this is not my field. I'm not a classically trained anything. I'm not a classically trained anything. I'm a writer and a physicist. But I'm tapping into a musical vibration, a musical pitch coming from the ethers that needs to be transmuted into a composition piece that I think is going to have a profound impact on the lives of anybody who hears it once they hear it. And it's coming direct from God. Atom. The creative conscious, because God means creator or creation. So, oh my God, I'm so excited. Come on, Lord, get me out of here so I can go and find my musicians and get this done. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Here we go. This is it. And this is what the walrus dream. I can't even think straight to get, because I'm just flabbergasted at what's just happened. So just click on the link for walrus and your mind's just going to be like, holy crap. So I feel like I'm stoned or high or drunk or something, because God's just given me a hug, and Brahms and Bach were right there beside him. Anyway, I'm going to go. Oh my Lord. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō.